Hi, today we're going to be looking at the area of a parallelogram. Let's get started. Okay, so remember, a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, right? What is a quadrilateral? A quadrilateral is merely a figure with four sides, okay? Um, so of with both pairs of opposite sides parallel. So a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, a figure with four sides, where both pairs of opposite sides parallel. Okay, cool. Now, we've got a parallelogram right here. That means this side and this side are parallel, and this side and this side are parallel. That's all that means. Okay, so now that we know what a parallelogram is, we gotta figure out the area of a parallelogram. So the formula for the area of a parallelogram is very simple. Area equals base times height. So in this particular diagram, the base is this thing right here, right? So 8 units. I don't have a unit here, so let's say meters just for fun. Um, and the height, now be careful. The height has to be a right angle line. So this is the height. If I gave you a number here, this would not be the height, since this is not a right angle. So when you're looking for the height, find the line with the right angle. That's the height. And in this case, it's a 5. So let's say 5 meters as well. So how would we find the area here? So since area equals base times height, and base is 8 meters, and height is 5 meters, well, what's 8 times 5? It's 40 meters squared. So the area of this particular parallelogram is 40 meters squared. Pretty easy stuff, right? Let's do a few questions together to solidify our knowledge. Okay, so we've got 4 parallelograms here, and let's find the area. Again, area equals base times height. I always like to write the formula first so that I remember it, right? Um, the base here is 15 millimeters times the height here is 13 millimeters. Okay, now if you take out a calculator and multiply the two, you could find the answer. Conversely, you could just multiply it using the algorithmic model, and you'll find the answer. I'm using a calculator here, and the answer is 195 millimeters squared. Okay, pretty easy stuff. Let's do the next question here. I'm going to draw a line here separating the two questions. Okay, the second question, again, area equals base times height. Now this is funny here, and this is sort of, you would think it's upside down. So here the base is actually this line right here. Well, how do I know that? Well, I know the height has to be the line with the right angle, and you see this right angle right here, so this has to be the height. So really this needs to be flipped this way, 90 degrees that way. So this is the base and this is the height. So if we do that, the base is 24 kilometers times the height is 16 kilometers. And if you multiply that using a calculator, you would get 384 kilometers. And it's kilometers squared. And I want to mention this here. Whenever you're multiplying, whenever you're finding the area, it's always squared. It's the unit squared. And the reason is because you're multiplying these two numbers and you're getting this number right here, but you're also multiplying the units, hence the unit squared. Does that make sense? So it's millimeter squared, kilometer squared, centimeter squared, centimeter squared. Okay, let's do the third questions. Again, area equals base times height. Our base here is 13 centimeters and our height is 24 centimeters. And what's the answer? What's 13 times 24? It's 312 centimeters squared. So that's the answer, that's the area. Lastly, again, area equals base times height. Now this is a tricky one, right? Because we've got 3 numbers. So which one's the base, which one's the height? Now you might be tempted to say, well, this is the base, and this is the height. But remember, the height has to be a right angle. So since this is the right angle with the line, we know that this line right here is the height. Okay, so we know that this is the height. Okay, now what's the base? Well, the base has to be connected to the height. Remember? So this has to be the base. Now, what's this number right here? This is the length of the diagonal line. This is actually extra info. For this case, we don't actually need the length of this line. This is there just to confuse us. So remember, this is the base and this is the height. Okay, so if we were to follow that, base times height, so 4 centimeters times height is also 4 centimeters. And 4 times 4 is 16 centimeters squared. Pretty easy stuff, right? Okay, that's the area of a parallelogram. I hope you enjoyed watching this video.